Oh my god, FTR and the Rock and Roll Express are laid out backstage by the Death Riders. I just have one fucking question. I've been asking the same question to myself and also out loud to the people. Where are the police? Why is any of this stuff allowed to happen? You know, I'm beginning to think that Tony Khan doesn't actually know what the fuck he's doing, but that can't be the case because Tony Khan was on message boards and booking his own e-fed and has studied professional wrestling. So clearly, with all the money in the goddamn universe, he knows what he's doing, doesn't he? Don't you know what you're fucking doing, you goddamn socially awkward bug-eyed doofus? Thanks, guys. I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Dynamite from the Knoxville Civic Coliseum. The site of many great professional wrestling events, and this, it actually had moments that I was thinking, okay, they're doing some things right. This Moxley stuff is fucking atrocious. What in the world are they doing? Why are they double, tripling, quadrupling down on this stuff? I don't care who they bring in, who they bring back, who they have beat Moxley. This company's main event scene is dead. You have to completely reset it. You have to completely blow this thing up. It is ridiculous. This is goddamn atrocious. This is an embarrassment. This is just like the late era NWO stuff, but the difference is the NWO actually fucking drew money. And Moxley is just racing, away with, just all kinds of great creative ideas. But unfortunately, everything else is basically just going down and down and down. The fans aren't reacting to this. They're groaning. They hate this. And then you got Wheeler Yuta with a salad bowl doofus haircut. Oh, Jesus. Fucking pushing goddamn Wheeler Yuta. There are plenty of people in the goddamn indies all over the goddamn planet that could do a lot better than Wheeler fucking Yuta. Okay, you know what? I'm really starting to regret that I ever went to AEW shows. I'm really starting to regret that I ever wanted to give this company a fucking chance. Because every time I try to give them a chance, every time I try to say, you know what? Maybe things are going to be different. They just keep hitting the fans over and over with this shit. And somebody needs to take Tony Khan and basically push him up against the wall and say, hey, Tony, you don't know what the fuck you're goddamn doing. And he doesn't know what he's doing. They need to bring somebody in to just squash Moxley. And I'm talking beat him flat. I'm talking pin him down, put their goddamn knee on his chest, and pin him and just do something else. Tony Khan needs a clean house. Tony Khan also needs to take himself out of booking. 6,500 seating capacity. They have about 2,600 people. And Excalibur, Taz, and eventually Shivani were on commentary. But Shivani welcomes Will Ospreay, and Ospreay starts talking, and then suddenly Kenny Omega shows up with a bunch of pyro. And that's a lot of pyro, but you know what, whatever. People are happy to see Kenny Omega back. You know what, I'm happy he recovered. I'm not the biggest fan of his stuff, but I praise some of his work in the past. Hey, Kenny, I'm glad you're not dead. Oh my god, they didn't kill Kenny. You not bastards. In awful English. So, I've tried to change this place from within. I've tried to get away from the Don Callis family. I've tried to get to Moxley. But I can't do it alone. I'm not going to make it on my own. I'm going to need you, Kenny, after all. Bang! So anyway, Forbidden Door 2023 is reference where he stabbed him in the head with a screwdriver. I really think that they didn't need to do that, but it's fine. I'm back, so you're number 2, I'm number 1, and all that, and I don't need your help. I won't help you. No, I will not. And then Callis, Takeshita, and Fletcher show up. Callis basically runs away because he thought that he saw, he thought he saw a woman that was actually going to attack him for the stuff he allegedly did in Impact. But Takeshita ends up attacking Kenny. Fletcher attacks Will. They go into the crowd. I'm skipping over quite a bit of this stuff because even though I liked some of what they were doing, the problem is they didn't know when to stop. This was the first 15 or so minutes of the show, and it did not need to go as long as it did. They went into the crowd. Lance Archer shows up. They go into the back where more beat sounds are taking place. Archer finally gets a double suplex through the through a merch table. Probably the only merch table they had in that goddamn place. They only had like 3 set up in the Tacoma Dome, by the way. I mean, granted, it was only about 6,300 people in a 23,000 seat arena, but nevertheless. Then they battle back out where Will gets up on a high railing And then there's a lighting truss that Omega gets on, and everybody just dives off of everything. And yeah, cool. Okay, Omega then ends up crawling back up there with Will Ospreay and has a microphone. Where'd he get the microphone? Never mind. It's fine. It's fine. The crowd was into this. I'll say this much. And it was an exciting start. But Omega even says, maybe I should have trusted you. I should have apologized to you. Hey, Don, how about we have a tag match in Australia? Takeshita and Fletcher against me and Will Ospreay. And all right, that was great. We'll see you next week. And what do you mean that was the opening of the show and we have nowhere to go now because we just had to commit more atrocities to basically try to top what we did? At least they're doing it with people that are mostly seen as main event talent, and also Fletcher, who is on like his 8th look in the last 4 months. But yeah, there we go. Okay, that was about the first 15 or so minutes. Went 5 to 7 minutes longer than it needed to, and they did way too much. But at least the crowd was into it. And then a package on pack. Wheeler Yuta looks like Sam the Sheepdog, and now you will never unsee it. Except Sam the Sheepdog is a lot tougher, and he was an animated dog. Wheeler Yuta is the fucking bane of my existence in this company, besides Jericho and Moxley. It is shameful to watch this goddamn noodle-armed, toothpick-shaped doofus pretend to be any kind. I'm not saying that he's not a nice guy. I'm not saying that he can't do the moves. But they are pushing him. It's not working. It's not good. The Hurt Syndicate then destroyed Private Party and won the tag titles. I mean, just beat the absolute shit out of them. We got, we hurt people chants. There was one more time chance because apparently people in Knoxville are Daft Punk fans. And I believe Cassidy went through the announcer's table, and even though they tried to valiantly fight back, the Hurt Business, or Hurt Syndicate rather, destroyed him. Just destroyed him. New tag team champions. Let him run with the tag titles for a year. Don't have him lose them until January. Reset this entire tag division. Don't have the Bucks goddamn compete for him. Just give them serious teams, blow up some teams, rebuild this shit. They did pop for the Hurt Syndicate, so that was nice. Mariah May is on Tony Storm. That sounded less dirty in my head. I'll scramble your brains again. I have no problem with that. I'll see you on Saturday, and I'll see you in Australia. They're gonna have hardcore homecoming is almost what I said. No, they're gonna have the homecoming in Jacksonville for Collision. I'm probably not going to end up watching that. If I do, I'll check out the replay. Because they're Saturday night's main event. I also have other shit to do. I'm literally in the midst of working like 11 straight days. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, why is Alex Marvez still there? Why? For what reason? Why was he dressed like Paul Heyman in late era ECW? Also, Tony tells Harley, hey, you could compete in Australia also. And then they said a bunch of Australian stuff that I didn't understand. They look great. I don't know what the fuck they said. So Karen Jarrett tells Jeff, don't give in to temptation to be a shitty person and get down on MJF's level. I don't want you to be like that again. And then Jarrett comes out to a pop, his old stomping grounds. References Jerry Lawler telling him early on in his career, don't ever get into the gutter with your opponent. Yet he married Karen Jarrett, but I digress. Max, I'm going to take you to the woodshed and beat your ass. I think somebody needs to take Tony Khan out behind the shed like Old Yeller at this point. And then he calls out Moxley, but then Claudio shows up. Claudio attacks him, but then he says, hey, Claudio, you turn your ass around. What the fuck is with Yuta? His hair's cut upside down, and then he's a fucking dipshit. Turn your ass around, and if I beat you next week, I get a shot against Moxley. Okay, they're trying with this Jarrett stuff. I just don't believe that Jarrett's going to win, because they're building it up to where MJF's probably going to screw him over. My problem is, and Jarrett, I want to just do something. Give Jarrett at least a month-long reign. Or nurse it along until Revolution. Something. And have Jarrett win there. Just have something occur where we just get away from the Death Rider stuff. A Megan Bain package, briefly. Swerve is with Nana, and Swerve took on, as a friend of mine would say, paraphrasing Noam Dar, the lovely A.R. Fox. Remember when A.R. Fox turned for like 3 weeks in 2023? Actually, I think it was like 6 weeks, but still. The match was what it was. Nothing against A.R. Fox personally. Nothing against Swerve. I like Swerve. I didn't care. I just didn't. Rico Tate, showed up. I'll call him by his actual name when he pulls his bald head out of his ass. And also, yeah, stops talking like an idiot. Actually, just stops talking in general. He tried to scissor Swerve. That didn't work. And then Nana had a pipe and chased him backstage. And I knew something bad was going to happen. But then the worst happened later. A flatliner house call and a stomp wins it. And then suddenly on the screen, Rico Tate is literally probably about 50 to 100 feet away. He's holding the scissors up to Nana's neck. The problem is the blade is sticking out about as much as my goddamn thumb right here. Now, yeah, he doesn't want to actually stab Nana. But he says, I could gut you like a fish, but I need you to tell Swerve this. There is a camera on you, you stupid, bald, substitute high school science teacher. Maybe it's a good thing he did leave WWE and they never let him fucking talk. Because good goddamn Christ. Jericho is on my television in 2025. Where was his wife on January 6, 2021? Once again, if any of you dumb fucks are watching this and you happen to vote for the criminal piece of shit that's in the White House, I will weed you guys out and I will get rid of you. Because I want good people watching my show. You are anti-human and anti-American. You're just basically anti. You don't really deserve, quite frankly, to have any happiness. Or to your children. So nevertheless, hopefully Jericho's children maybe get away from him. Or otherwise, maybe if they end up getting bullied, hey, Jericho, it's your fault. It's your wife's fault. Jericho cuts him, and Big Bill is going to challenge Hobbs. So Hobbs is dead. Just release Hobbs. Just release half the roster. This is supposed to be where the young, fresh people are, and we have Jericho sucking the life out of this goddamn promotion. We have Bill, who isn't any good. We have Brian Queef, who I don't care if he's a good wrestler. I don't want to see any of these people. I'm starting to think that a break from AEW reviews might actually be in order, because even though I don't watch Collision that much, and I try to keep myself unplugged from some things, it is just really, it's hard to watch this show. Because any positives are immediately stamped out by bullshit. MJF basically kicks a jobber out of the ring. He wants Jarrett to apologize, and I like MJF. I really do. He is a once-in-a-generation talent. He's trying too hard with this. That segment last week with Jarrett was not good. That was not good on any level. Nobody looked good. The company didn't look good. Those two guys didn't look good. He ends up seeing Hangman. Hangman basically tells MJF to leave. Hangman beats up some enhancement. I don't know who the guy was. I didn't catch the name. I think the announcer said it once. Nothing against the guy. But then he hits Angel's Wings afterwards. Here's Christopher Daniels after that Texas death match, where Daniels basically says, I tried to talk some sense into you. The doctors have basically advised me not to wrestle again. I'm done. You win. And Hangman looks all defeated and conflicted and stuff like that. People say this is the most interesting Hangman has been. I mean, yes, but that's not saying much. So recaps of the first 30 minutes, where at least we have new tag team champions, and Ospreay and Omega and Fletcher, Takeshita, and Archer did about 5 different things. It could have been spread out over a few weeks, but whatever, it's fine. Mercedes has all her belts. Harley then shows up with her guitar, and Mercedes will not face her in a match. At this point, give Harley a goddamn title. Anything that gets Mercedes off of my television, get her off the mic and just let her wrestle. I don't want to hear this disingenuous twat talk. And if she's getting paid a lot of money and she's happy where she is, good. Good for her. I'm not saying I want her to go back to WWE. I just don't want to hear her talk because I don't believe her. Because she's playing a character instead of talking like a person. And she deserves to be mocked for that, by the way. So, Nick Wayne and Joe was canceled because of travel issues. I don't know if it was because of Nick Wayne. I don't know if it's because of Samoa Joe. I think it was weather issues, which is odd because currently I'm in Washington State, and of course, knock on wood, it's not that bad here. I know Joe lives in California. Did that have to do with the fire? Is he okay? I mean, I don't know. So, and I know that Knoxville, I think Tennessee had some, that snow also, but it's fine. I'm just glad both guys are safe. So, Jamie Hayter took on Julia Hart in the second match as Hayter Hart 2, Electric Mistaloo. They did stuff, and Hayter's shoulder got hurt or beat around, and Julia took a lot of shots to the back. Backbreakers, whatever. Haterade, 1, 2, 3. Not a bad match. By this point, I was kind of checked out of the show, all due respect to these women. And Hayter says, you won one, I won one. Whether you have people with you, whether you don't. You want the third one, anytime, any place. You are a tough bitch. Love is in the air. And Hobbs is going to face off against Big Bill. Again, just release Hobbs. Just let him go. Just let him go. So, Swerve basically wants to destroy Ricochet. That's going to be 2 weeks in Atlanta. By the way, next week, and I believe the 5th, I'll be watching Dynamite Live because I'm on this weird work schedule. But once I get past, Revolution, I'm gonna look at the views, and I'm gonna figure out what works best. Because I'm starting to get to where I barely review a lot of WWE anymore. I review Raw, but I may even back off on that. It's getting to the point where I don't want to do much. So, Brody, Julia, and Buddy have a dog, and our leader is gone. Apparently, Malachi transformed into a dog. They're going to have just violence, and we bark together. Is this Baby Girl? Those who have seen Baby Girl know what I'm talking about. So anyway, Copeland took on Pac. I'm not calling him Cope because that's stupid. That's bad and he should feel bad. Copeland won, and then FTR and Rock and Roll Express are beat up backstage. Why did the Rock and Roll Express even leave their house? They're always getting beat up. Why were they there? Whatever. So, Mox's group is there. I refuse to believe the Wheeler Yuta did anything besides slipping a goddamn, pile of liquid or something like that. Probably because he pissed himself. Because I'd be pissing myself if I was out of my goddamn element like he is. So, where were the police? Why was any of this happening? Jay White showed up and then he got beat down because the crowd was groaning. Nobody wants to see this. Even if you're a Moxley fan, do you want to continue to see this stuff? If it wasn't for the media rights deal, this company would be dead. It is just paid programming at this point. WWE isn't exactly perfect either as far as programming. A lot of it's really fucking boring. This is just bullshit for the sake of it because Khan has no fucking idea what he's doing. Somebody needs to sit him down and say, listen, you goddamn Afro fucking sporting dweeb. You don't know what you're goddamn doing. Who has a dumber hair, Khan or Yuta? Yes is the answer. I love professional wrestling, but AEW is beating the passion out of me. WWE has already kind of lost me. AEW's beating the passion out of me. I can't even watch a lot of New Japan anymore. Congratulations, Khan. You basically have beaten me. You have beaten a fan of 40 fucking years. Because you don't know what you're doing. You won't admit you don't know what you're doing. You're letting the goddamn inmates run the goddamn asylum. Moxley doesn't know how to actually be a proper wrestler. He's just doing what the fuck he wants to do. Jericho's dragging shit down. The women's division. Who knows what the fuck's going to happen with the women's division? There's talent there. The women's division, sadly, might be the most interesting thing besides the Hurt Syndicate being the tag team champions. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.